A former Adrian College women's hockey player is suing an MSU rival. It's over a hit on the ice. Kathleen Droba says that she was seriously hurt during that game in 2023.
She is suing Sidney Crawford over what she calls a violent banned body check. The lawsuit says Droba has suffered memory loss, among other injuries, and a decreased quality of life since that hit. Now, MSU is not listed as a defendant in this case. And joining us now to discuss is attorney Ronald Applebaum. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So how rare is a case like this?
Very rare. These type of cases do not typically occur between athletes in sports such as hockey, where there's an inherent danger to it. And what you have to be able to show to prevail in this case is that the conduct was reckless. And the law in Michigan defines reckless as a willingness or indifference to the injury to the co-participant in the sport. So it's a very, very difficult standard to establish and meet. Yeah. Difficult standard.
With those contact sports, you know, you hope for the best, but sometimes things like this happen. What do you think can separate this one in terms of pursuing a case and not just accepting the fact that sometimes unfortunate things do happen?
Well, it's interesting. If you look at the actual lawsuit itself, you have very divergent facts. You have the plaintiff that's alleging in the lawsuit that there was no play going on, that the defendant skated across the ice and body checked her, resulting in these significant serious injuries. Now, the response that was filed by the defense is saying something completely different, saying that specifically the play was going on, that the defendant was in the midst of playing and there was a collision, but there was no body check and nothing impermissible. So it's a very interesting standard.
You wonder if there's video of that game, if you can go back and review what actually happened. But if this does go, you know, to trial, what could this be a precedent-setting case? Could other athletes follow suit and see if they could?
It's possible, but you still have to go into that reckless intent, and it's going to be, in my opinion, difficult to establish that and prove it, because you're going to have, during the pendency of the case, depositions, and you're going to have the defense saying her position, the plaintiff saying her position. There could be various witnesses that are deposed, that are asked questions, and ultimately you could find, it's now pending in federal court in Grand Rapids, that the defense files a motion for what is called summary judgment for the case to be dismissed, and ultimately it could go in front of a jury in Grand Rapids, where it would be up to a jury of their peers to make a decision. But it could set some precedent.
And speaking of, what should sports teams do maybe in the future just to protect themselves legally?
Well, I think you want to make sure that the individual is, or all participants are playing within the confines of what is appropriate, that they're not doing something above and beyond the normal activities of the sport. And because, again, to establish something beyond that, you have to show this reckless, which is going intentionally after somebody.
All right, Ronald Applebaum, thanks so much for joining us and discussing this interesting case.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.